Oh, YouTube! What's up, guys? So, this past weekend, I played at IGNISTERS for LCS number, I believe 14, or 13. I don't remember which LCS it is, but I decided to play at IGNISTERS. And some of you might be wondering, Pack, what are you doing this time around, and why are you playing at IGNISTERS? Well, I want to give a huge shout out to Tubulario. I don't even know how to say his full name, but we'll call him Tubby. And I basically reached out to him and asked him, hey, can you send me the Ignister deck that you have or the template? And I did that because I thought that Ignisters would be a great meta call for the LCS. When everyone's playing like Zoo, it has a good Tri-Zoo matchup because it can play multiple tech cards. So yeah, that's kind of like the reason why. And day one I went 5-0, and then day two I went 5-2. Or I went X2. So I started off day one going XL, and then day two I lost 2 in a row, and so I made 10th place, which only top 8 got to play it out, but top 16 got prizing. But something that you guys should know about the Ignister deck is I picked it up, I would say basically a day before I played the LCS. So I had no idea how to actually play this deck. So Tub was the person who sent me a bunch of combo videos for me to watch. He sent me like 3 1-card combos for me to watch. And so I just watched them, and then like I just took them into like 5 rated games, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna YOLO it and play the LCS because I figured it would be great content for me to play a deck that that you don't normally see. And I'm a huge fan of rogue decks like these because when your opponent don't know what the cards does, right? You get an inherent advantage, and I'm always about like taking and capitalizing on those like advantage. So I actually ended up getting all the cards in person as well, so I apologize if the deck profile came out a little bit later than normal, guys. But it's because I wanted to get all the cards IRL before I did the deck profile. Instead of doing just a regular dueling book profile for LCS, I wanted to show you guys the real cards. And, you know, me buying the cards themselves, showing you guys, like, I really, really like this deck, right? So, um, first, another thing to, that I wanted to add also before I forget is that, um, Ignister, I think, is a really, really strong deck this format just because it has multiple 1-card combos. Like, there's 12 cards in the deck that does 1-card combos, and that allows you to basically set up a lot of advantage off 1 card, but it allows you to also ultimately play a lot of tech cards. And so when you see the deck profile, it'll make a lot of sense. But anyways, guys, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and also follow my Twitch for to see like live gameplay. And I'll start with the deck profile now. We start off with 3 Achichi. Achichi is the fire one. This card, when it's no more special, lets you add any other level 4 or lower Ignister monster. So this is like one of the 1-card combos that is out there for the deck. And also at the start of the damage step, when a Cyberse monster battles, you can banish this card from your graveyard to destroy the monster. The reason why that's important is that if you don't want to like die and take damage, you can banish this at the start of the damage step to destroy your own Cyberse monster so that you don't take damage. Because, you know, it goes start of damage step, and then you enter like damage calc, and damage calc is when you apply like how much damage you would take. So that's a way to like not take damage. So it's a Chi-Chi. Next we have Picari. The DB grinder calls it Pikachu. Shout out to him. So Picari searches any spell or trap that's AI when you no more special it, and it can also target any other Ignister monster and make it a level 4, which comes up if you want to make rank 4 plays with the Light Dragon. But these are like the 1-card combos. So yeah, these are like what enables like the towers combo, and I can also show the combo at the end of the video so you guys know what I'm talking about. Next, for like some of like the quote-unquote garnets, like, you don't necessarily want to draw these cards. If you do, they're good to draw with like other like starters, but they're not like great by themselves. So we play 1 Doyon, 1 Donmari, 1 Buru, aka Uu, 1 Hirari, and then 1 Gachiri. So I'll explain these cards like in terms of like together. So Doyon is like one of my favorite ones. Even though it's played at 1, it's one of my favorite ones because when it's no more special, you get to add back any Ignister monster from the grave back to your hand. And when it's sent to the graveyard for Link Summon, you can target any AI spell or trap card and add to your hands. This card just gives you so many free cards. So that's why I really, really like it, like Doyon. But the issue is that when you open it just by itself, it doesn't accomplish anything. So I do like it, but I only like it past like turn 1 where it like really shines, but like when you're trying to like combo and stuff, it doesn't contribute to like great hands. But if you draw this with a starter, it lets you play through more, and it also lets you like recur back follow up. So I think like Doyon is like great when you draw it with other like starters, but by itself it's really really bad. That's why it's at 1. Next we have Brew Brew, and then we have Donmari. So Brew Brew, when it's normal or special, it can Foolish Burial any Ignister monster from the deck to the grave. And when it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Cyberse monster, you can target a monster that was used for that synchro summon, and then special summon it. So the combo is usually you use Brew Brew to send Donmari, and then Donmari says when you control a Link 6 monster, you can banish this card from the field or the graveyard as a quick effect to target one card your opponent controls and hot red it, or negate its effect basically. The other thing is when an attack is involved, including your IGNISTER monster, you can summon it from the hand and basically conquer it, an attack, like, or basically negate an attack. So these are the two effects. So you play this card because it's not amazing by itself. It's like a Garnet. You usually want to search it off Wicked, because Wicked can search any Cyberse tuner, and then this is a Cyberse tuner. And then Donmari is usually a Garnet as well. That's why it's played at 1. Because you usually want to Foolish it off Brew Brew. If you hard draw it, it's like maybe fine, because it makes it so that your arrival is really hard to like kill, because when they try to attack it, you can summon Donmari, negate the attack, and then you can banish it from the field to negate what card they control. So, and then the last two Ignisters that are not common for some reason, a lot of people don't like these cards, are Hirari and Gachiri. So Hirari basically says if you control an Ignister monster, you can summon it right from the hand. And you contribute another Cyberse monster you control to add a level 5 or higher Ignister from your deck to the hand, and then basically its level becomes 4. It can basically, this card allows you to search the Gachiri, and the Gachiri lets you basically play through Nibiru. So there's a combo that if you open like a Chi-Chi plus any other starter, you can basically play through Nibiru. But you need to play these cards in order to play through the Nibiru. So that's why I really like these two. Also, these two cards are like, they don't contribute to like you playing, so like that's why I only have them at 1 and 1. But they're like nice extenders if you have starters, basically. The other cool thing about like Hirari and Gachiri is that like going second, these cards are very very powerful because they help you like basically get to access code to like kill your opponent. So I really like these cards going second, and they really shine going second because it helps you like finish and game your opponent. So I like these cards. So 11 main deck Ignister monsters. Next, I'm going to talk about like the other starters. So we have Silent Mining. I mean, this, you should all know what this card does from like Salamangreats. Basically, send a card from your hand to the graveyard. Add a level 4 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to the hand. And then we have I Meet You. So this card came out in Lightning Overload. And basically what this card does is you reveal a Cyberse monster in your hand or your extra deck with 2300 attack, and then you get to add any Ignister monster with the same attribute as the monster you revealed. So, for example, if you reveal a Transcode Talker, it's 2300, and then you get to add Gachiri because you revealed an Earth 2300 monster, therefore you get to add a Ignister monster that's the same attribute. So, it's basically more Rotas. The thing you need to remember about I Meet You is that like if you don't summon the monster revealed at the end phase, you burn equal to that monster's attack, which is generally 2300. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. This card influences your extra deck a lot, and basically when we finally do get Hiso, we can replace a card in the extra deck, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But these are like basically the one card combo for the deck. Next, we have 3 of the Field Spell. This is what makes the deck really broken. So, the Field Spell has 2 effects. Only one of them is once per turn. But the effect that isn't once per turn is when this card is activated, you can activate this card Ignition. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your hand. But for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters with the same original attribute by the effect of Ignister AI. Also, or Island, and also you cannot special summon monsters except Cyberse monsters for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. So, what this card is basically a free extender for the deck. It's not once per turn to keep summoning from the hand. It just has the restriction that whatever you summon from the hand, you no longer can summon. So if you use its effect to special summon red, you can't special summon a fire monster for the off this effect for the rest of the turn. If you use this effect to summon like Picari, you can't summon a light Ignister monster for the rest of the turn using this effect. But it's a extender, and one of the choke points of the deck is definitely Dark Infant. So that's why like you want to play 3 because hard opening it allows you to play through an interruption on Dark Infant. Also, the graveyard effect is really insane. It basically gives you free cards. But when this card is in the graveyard, you can basically banish any Ignister monster from the graveyard and then set this from the graveyard. That effect is really, really relevant because you can go Silent Mining, pitch AI, and that lets you like basically play through Dark Infant. So very, very strong. Next we have 1 Idol Reborn, 1 Eye Contact. So I play 1 Idol Reborn. This is a card I honestly want to consider bumping to 2. But I played 1 because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really comfortable with the deck. I built the deck like very last minute. So I'm not really like too comfortable with all of it, but I definitely do think I want to play a second one. Basically, this is Monster Reborn for the archetype that's searchable. You can target an Ignister monster in the graveyard and special summon it. Then you're locked into like Cyberse monsters for the rest of the turn. And then when an attack is involved, including this 2 monsters, you can banish this card from the graveyard and 1 card from your hand. Add back any Ignister spell or trap from the banished pile or the graveyard back to your hand. And then you have Eye Contact. I think this card is super underrated, but and a lot of people don't like it. But I think this card is like so crazy. Basically, if you have the field spell in the field zone and you have a field spell in your hand, you can put it to the bottom of your deck and draw 3 cards. I really like it because like turn 2, this card is always live, and so it basically gives you like 3 cards to like fix your hand and like make sure they don't win. Also like turn 1, this card can basically help you see more non-engine cards that helps you win like unwinnable matchups. So I really, really like this card a lot for that reason. You also keep adding it back with Doyon, so every turn you draw 3 cards. And then we play 1 Call by the Grave, just because it's like hand traps are in the format and it's really, really good. It can also be a trap card. For the non-engine cards, we have 3 Ash Blossoms for the hand traps. This just covered every matchup, so I really like Ash Blossom. I have 3 Nibiru. I found out that a lot of people don't respect the Nib, and Nib is really strong against Dragon Link, which is a really bad matchup as well. Nib is also like really good with the Arrival because your monster is unaffected. So like, in order for them to out your monster, they need to be able to summon Boral Sword or like, I don't know, Boral Sword, like access code that's really big, and this card just tributes to their monster, so like they just cannot win when you go first with Nib and like an Arrival. I main deck Joel mainly because Dragon's like a really bad matchup, and I think Joel's like semi okay into the deck. Joel's also like semi okay into like the Trizu matchup going first because like it makes it so that they cannot search like the trap card. Troll's also like really good against Drytron, which I thought was actually gonna be represented quite a bit. So this card was like okay. And if you go first and set up a a rival, if you Joel them and have like a boss monster that's unaffected by everything, under Joel that monster becomes really hard to out unless you're playing Dragon Link. And then for like the 5 types of like imperms, I played 2 Veiler, and then 3 impermanents. So basically, I wanted to play Veiler and Imperm just because of the Tri-Zoo matchup, because I thought it'd be really popular, and Veiler and Imperm are just really good into that matchup, so that's why like these cards are here. And yep, that's pretty much it for that. I think I definitely wanted to like fit in main deck Tactics, and that's something that I regret too about the list, just because so many people were maining hand traps, and I think Tactics would have been really, really strong. And then the last 3 cards that won me almost every time I drew it, I won the match. 3 Forbidden Droplets. I mean, this card is so crazy, especially going second, because it helps you like OTK your opponent. Whereas it's also like better than Dark Rule in that instance because like it lets you like deal damage. And against like the Dragon Link board, Forbidden Droplet outplays their Hot Red, right? Because you can go like activate a card, and they negate it with Hot Red. Then you can chain Droplets, sending the target to the graveyard. Therefore, Hot Red won't negate it. And then like you can send a monster, so you negate the Savage and negate the seal. So it just like becomes game right after that. And then you just kill them. So this card is just very, very strong, and I really like its flexibility and versatility. And outplaying your opponent. Quick play spells are just so crazy. So 40 card main deck. Yeah. Now we'll get into the extra deck, and I'll definitely like talk about like I think my extra deck was like bad. I think I missed 1 card. That I should have definitely played, but I played Triple Dark Infant, which I think should only be 2. You only need 1 for the combo if you don't play the Cyberse Quantum combo, and the second one comes in the grind. And then the third one is just never really needed. I think that this card should have been Security Dragon, which I didn't play, which was definitely a mistake. So that's something to keep in mind as you guys watching my profile, guys. This Dark Infant should be a Security Dragon, mainly because you main deck Nibiru and you need to like link it off. One Lingeribo, this card was insane. I really like this card. It comes up a lot after the LCS. I tested a lot more, and Lingeribo is like really strong into like trap matchups. One Link Spider, when you get Nibiru, you can keep playing through it. So these are all the Link 1s. For the Link 2s, I play 2 Splash Mage, Cyber's Wicked. So you need 2 Splash Mage, one for the starting turn 1 combo, and the second one for the next turn to kill them. And then 1 Cyber's Wicked because it's a combo extender. It's just an insane card. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Monster this card points to cannot be destroyed by card effects. And when a monster is summoned to a zone this card points to, you search any Cyber's Tuner from your deck to your hand. That's just like a really crazy card. I really like it. So 5 Link 1s, 3 Link 2s. We played 3 Link 3s. Dark Templar at Ignister. This is one of like the best cards in the deck. Basically has 3 effects. Basically, or technically 2 effects. But when a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, even during the damage step, you can special summon as many level 4 or lower Ignister monsters from your graveyard to the zone this card points to. Basically, it's Soul Charge. And then the other effect, which came up in my round 7 match that I didn't know, is when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you get to special summon any Cyber's monster from your graveyard to so that's really broken because you can like go second, attack into the monster, special summon using the effect of Dark Templar, and then like Soul Charge during the damage step. So it's very strong. So that's one of the Link 3s. Also, it's 2300, which you need to play because when you play AI Meet You, like I said, this is going to come up, and I guess this is a good time to show the card. So AI Meet You, or I Meet You, says you have to reveal a Cyber's monster with 2300 attack from the extra deck or the hand to search. So that's why you also play this card. I mean, besides for the fact that it's combo. So this is you Doyon. Then you play Transcode Talker, which is pretty obvious. Has synergy with AI Meet You as well to search Kachiri. Then you play Fire Phoenix at Ignister. So this is the third Link 3 we play. So this card basically has an effect that isn't actually like super obvious, but during the damage calc, if this card attacks, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's attack, and if you do, your opponent takes no battle damage from that battle. So if you attack them, you basically burn them for 2300. Also, when this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy one monster your opponent control. And then the last effect is during the standby phase, after this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. You mainly play this for the fact that you can activate I Meet You, reveal the Fire Phoenix, and then search the Achichi, which is the fire monster. So that's why you mainly play this. Once we get Heat Soul, guys, please, Konami, if you're watching my deck profile, please release Heat Soul in Kiko. We need it. Because when Heat Soul comes out in Kiko, we can replace the Fire Phoenix at Ignister and play Heat Soul instead. It's a 2300 Link 3 that synergizes with I Meet You, and it's a fire Link 3 that allows you so that you can replace this. So hopefully that's the case. But so there's this for the Link 3s. For the Link 4s, we play 1 access code. It's really easy to climb into. It's a Cyber's monster. And then 1 arrival, the boss monster for the deck, the Link 6. This card, if you guys don't know, you can only control one of it. The original attack of this card becomes the number of Link materials used for Link Summon. There's combo that makes it so there's combos to make it 6k, 4k, or 3k. So it just really depends. I've never really seen a 5k Ignister, but it's usually either 6, 4, or 3k. It just depends on your hand. And then the other effect is it's unaffected by every other card effect, so it's a towers. Also has another effect to pop any monster in the field and summon an Ignister token to a zone this card points to. The Ignister token can actually turn into cards like Dark Infant. It can turn into like Lingeribo. It can also help extend into Splash Mage. So it's very strong. And then we play 1 XYZ, which is the Light Dragon at Ignister, and then we play Wind Pegasus, the at Ignister. So these cards are played. The Light Dragon is played mainly because of I Meet You. So if you reveal a light monster, if you reveal the Light Dragon, which is 2300 Cyber's monster, you get to search Picari. So that's why. You can also sometimes like hard make it to play through like nib and kill your opponent. Because it basically like non-target destroys up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. And then Wing Pegasus is really good into the trap deck matchups. You can also make it turn 1. It pops back row up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. Also, if another, as you know from like when you play Dogma and stuff like that, if a card you control is destroyed, you can banish this card from the graveyard and then shuffle one card your opponent control back into their deck. So that effect is very, very strong, and you actually put it in the graveyard in the turn 1 combo. So there's that, and that's pretty much 15 card extra deck. Like I said, I think the third Dark Infant should definitely be Security Dragon. Also, lets you play through Contact C. I think Deadly was mentioning in the chat, which is also another thing that's really, really important. So there's that. Next, we have the side deck. 3 Solemn Judgment. Instead of Solemn Judgment, I played 2 Anti-Spell and IO. That was a mistake. It should definitely be Solemn Judgment. The IO and the Anti-Spell hurts you. If you can't play, it hurts you really bad on the follow-up. So that's just something to consider. These are like 2 IO and Anti-Spell. I totally forgot. I just realized right now as I'm doing the profile that it's actually 2 Anti-Spell and IO instead, guys. Definitely a mistake. Next we have 3 Twin Twister. Just good back row removal. It's good into the Prank Kid matchup and good into the Shadal matchup. And then we have 3 Lightning Storm. It's good into Tri-Zoo. It's good into Tri-Zoo. It's good into Trap decks. Pretty versatile card. So that's why it's there. 3 Tactics for basically going first. You're probably going to get hand trap quite a bit. So this card lets you look at your opponent's hand. Going second, this card is also really good as well to like take their monster. Yeah, so Tactics is that. And then the last card to respect the Datron matchup, 3 Psycho Reader. I expected to see some in like Top Cut, maybe 1 or 2, or like even like in Swiss, maybe 1 or 2 Datrons, and like that's a really, really rough matchup as well. So I really wanted to have these just so that I have like some sort of defensive power against the deck. But yeah, Tactics is really good into like the Prank Kid matchup as well, because you literally can like activate this, take their Butler, and they can't really chain Butler because they already Regeki'd once. So you just take their Butler and then Regeki them back, and they don't get the effect of Butler to Reborn. So it's just really, really strong. So that's pretty much the side deck. Definitely some things to change. I think this should be in the main deck. I think like decks that play 1-card combos should play cards like Tactics to like really capitalize on like bomb cards. And this is a really, really good bomb card. So I think Psycho Reader was like fine. I think you still play just because Datron is very rough matchup. Lightning Storm is also still, I think, going to be played just because trap decks can also be an issue. But if you go first and make a rival, trap decks can't out it, so you just auto win. Twin Twister, I think, was still correct. And then Solemn Judgment is really, really good. Another tech that you can also decide to like play is if you think that people are going to be playing Kaijus and stuff to out your board, you can play the Appointer of the Red Lotus and rip the Kaiju out of their hand, so you force them to have a second one over the Judgment. So that's something you consider as well. Just play Appointer, and when you appoint them, you see their entire hand. So like on the next turn when you try to go kill them, you can just figure out how to like play through like the rest of the cards in their hand. And the Appointer is just like FTK as well, because it makes sure that you know how to negate everything with Donmari and like having a rival, so it just becomes automatically game. So that's pretty much the deck profile, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the deck, any other changes you would make. I personally really, really enjoy this deck. I think it's a really, really fun option. Yeah, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe as well. The best comment in the comment section will win my prizing from LCS. I got a box and a half for getting top 16, so the best comment in the comment section will win a box and a half of Lightning Overload. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway for basically the prizing that I got. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for attending, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.